YouTube? You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today we're going over the Ally of Justice cards and how they counteract the Blue Eyes White Dragon strategy. For the people that didn't know, Blue Eyes White Dragon has been receiving a lot of hype, especially after the movie pack that announced Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. This deck has been seeing a lot of play. Now there are quite a few great counters against them, but I feel like the Ally of Justice monsters, two in specific, are really good. For the people that didn't know, Ally of Justice debuted in Hidden Arsenal, and while it has not seen a success as an archetype itself, there are quite a few cards in there that allow you to battle against light decks, which is something that Blue Eyes is. But without further ado, I present to you Ally of Justice Psycho Reader. Now, Ally of Justice Psycho Reader is a level 3 dark monster machine tuner with 1000 attack and 1000 defense. That's not where its best strengths are at, but its best strength is that it's a machine monster and can be searched with through cards like Geargagon X. Its effect also reads, you can discard this card from your graveyard. Select up to 2 light monsters in your opponent's graveyard and remove them from play. This effect can be activated during either player's turn. Now keep in mind, Hidden Arsenal 3 came out a long time ago, so this isn't necessarily updated to problem-solving card text, but what we do know is Ally of Justice, obviously looking at the card text, can be activated during either player's turn. Another great thing about Ally of Justice Psycho Reader is that it says up to 2. Selecting up to 2 means that you can activate it even when your opponent only has 1 light monster in the graveyard to target. We can assume that Ally of Justice Psycho Reader does target, mainly because of how the card is worded in itself. Again, we don't have problem-solving card text for this card yet, but eventually, hopefully, we will, and it will be able to clarify a couple of other things up. The next thing I want to talk about Ally of Justice Psycho Reader is that it is a hand trap to its finest. While it does have 1000 attack and 1000 defense, which is pretty strong for a hand trap, you're probably never going to want to normal summon or set this monster. I think another good thing is that it is a level 3 tuner, so if you are in a pinch, you can normal summon and synchro summon, or you can even exceed summon because it's a decent level monster. Ultimately, Ally of Justice Psycho Reader is just that, a hand trap that can disrupt your opponent, and at the very worst, it could be a level 3 tuner. The best way to take advantage of Ally of Justice Psycho Reader is to use it when your opponent uses Return of the Dragon Lords, Silver's Cry, or even the White Stone of the Ancients. Using that effectively so they won't be able to resolve their cards' effects will essentially make them -1, or actually lose the card that they really needed to revive certain cards to the side of the field. Ally of Justice Psycho Reader also hits other important cards like Azure Eyes Silver Dragon's effect. So it's just a really handy card since the Blue Eyes deck is heavily reliant on the graveyard. Ally of Justice Psycho Reader for the Hidden Arsenal version retails around $7, and while the dual terminal version for the YOLO swag players goes about $25. So it's not necessarily a cheap card, but it was a cheap card at one point in time, and hopefully it seems like it's ready for a reprint, so who knows. The next Ally of Justice card that is extremely good against Blue Eyes I want to talk about is Ally of Justice Quarantine. Now, Ally of Justice Quarantine debuted in the same set, Hidden Arsenal 3, and its effect is very simple. It is a level 4 dark machine type monster, so it's still searchable by Geargagon X. Its 1700 attack and 1200 defense makes it a lot harder for Blue Eyes player to get over, and its effect reads, neither player can special summon light monsters. Now this card can be critical if you're going against the Blue Eyes strategy because every single time they summon a monster, more often than not, it's 0 attack. So when they're special summoning monsters, those monsters are the stronger cards that they want to get in the field. Now granted, Quarantine must be established in early games, and for you to completely gain this effect, first turn will probably be the best way to summon Quarantine. So while it does have a little bit of limitation as opposed to Ally of Justice Psycho Reader, it does prevent the opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Blue Eyes strategy. Ally of Justice Quarantine is just overall an amazing card. Being able to prevent the opponent from special summoning light monsters, and then also being a 1700 attack monster that your opponent can't get rid of, it's a force to be reckoned with. The Hidden Arsenal price for Ally of Justice Quarantine sits around about $2. The dual terminal price of Quarantine is about $12, so you guys can choose wisely. Both of these cards have their advantages as well as their disadvantages, whereas if I'm playing a machine deck that can play Geargagon X, I probably want to search Psycho Reader because I use my 2 normal summons to make the Geargagon X. Or if I'm actually playing the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck myself, I can risk playing Ally of Justice Quarantine in the deck because I can just special summon all my cards and then normal summon Quarantine and pass my turn. Ultimately, it is up for you guys to decide. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.